Hello everyone, Agion here with another Ashes of Singularity game. Spawn on the north side as the PHC, we have AEK Athens. Spawn on the south side as his opponent, we have Bannereus, the Substrate. Bannereus did submitted to me a number of replays. This is the first one I'm going to record. The first one I was looking at, for some odd reason, kept on crashing, so I won't be able to cast that one. Sorry to say that, buddy, but this one hopefully will go nice and smoothly. Note, I did a couple things. I changed from OBS Classic to OBS Studios, so OBS Studios does consume a little less CPU usage and a little bit smoother, I would say, in recording. And plus now I'm recording at 60 frames per second, so I'm increased that greatly. The other thing is, my usual light I have is burnt out. You know, one of those like long fluorescent lights, I guess. That's what I describe it. One of those long stick type lights. And when I tried replacing it, I think it's actually the ballast that holds it that went bad, not the light itself. So now I'm just using these overhead lights. They're very yellow, and I really don't like them. They just put too much light onto me in that general area. Try to adjust for a moment. That's a little bit better. It's like they're on a little stand there, so you can actually point which direction to go. Either way, it looks like we got a dual factory opener here. Actually, a little bit unusual build order start. We got these two factories here. But he didn't immediately build one like on this point here like we usually see people do it, such as this one. You see this assembly here. We do got a hit squad of martyrs. Two hit squads of martyrs claiming it's radioactive. So there is a slight difference in building placement. I wasn't really paying attention. Now I don't like where those lights are. That's a bit better. Hopefully it's not too much light on my camera. Well, in the area. It actually looks quite dark in my area, but when I can see my recording on my other screen, it looks like it's quite lit up, so I'm probably going to just keep it how it is. You got a Brute Archer combination, not big surprise, and you just got the Martyr span for now. Martyrs are quite reliable, become very good swarms. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and fast forward. I don't see anything too extravagant. Quantum Relay is a bit earlier than the Quantum Archives, but like I said, nothing too extravagant. Let's go ahead and just get to ×3. Start seeing secure up to these points, going left and right. You can see Blue's economy is much slower at the moment. Not building up as fast as a force. He's trying to get a mixed army. He has plenty of forces. He's overestimating these defending forces. These defending forces can go down quite quickly. We do even have an air scout out on the field, along with a drone hive. So we do have that. Yeah, air scout and drone hive. It's a bit interesting, but you don't see it that very too often. But drone hives are excellent versus frigates. Granted, there are Sky Cleaner, there are some AA frigates, and the drones can in fact get shot down, including the air scout. Air scout's sustaining some shield damage, but that is fine. Shields can be regenerated, and not utilizing this army too well. He's just going very slow and claiming too many resources. What I usually do is select the army group, right, hit the A for attack move, force attack move, hold shift, capture, attack, shift, capture, and just start killing a bunch of points and just start securing up the large parts of the map. You only need you really only need a very small force. We do have, in fact, a pulverizer. Wait, this is the upgrade. It first goes I was thinking annihilator turret. It goes pulverizer. Then I forget. Is that? And never mind. I'm just thinking. I'm getting the names all mixed up. We got some more and more arms coming down, so there's going to be a heavy cruiser-based play, maybe inspired by that GG machine cast. But Then again, no, this replay was recorded on the 8th, and my replay of involving Gigi the Machine just went up on the 9th, so it's definitely not inspired with that. I guess people are realizing frigates are excellent, Zeuses are excellent versus Martyrs, and Reapers, and Substrate. By the way, both sides going a bit slow in the center, but the red player, of course, is capturing these left and right quite nicely. The blue's a little behind, but that shouldn't be it can be actually a bit of a problem. He also doesn't have any medics to help keep these guys healed up, while the shields can just regenerate for his opposing. So I do have some Fury air interceptors now coming on out. That is quite understandable in order to take out the enemy aircraft. Go ahead and fast forward once again. Nothing much is happening at the moment. Let's take a look at tech. We've got some quantum archives. You got the amplifiers coming down. We got a huge army there. You got still the significant amount of armories, more quantum relays. Yep, nothing too crazy just yet. Starting to secure up this radioactive now. The income is heavily drawn on the blue player. The red player has a little bit of float at the moment, which isn't too bad. Having a bit of float's not horrible. Sometimes actually quite nice. So you can just save up for a bit of a dreadnought without overdrawing your economy. You got the red now securing the center, which of course has 4 metal. Very rich, and this is just huge force here in the center. Soon there's going to be a huge clash. There's a number of Zeus as well. These armies are not grouped up, which actually for PHC you sort of do want your armies grouped up and form armies, since you want the brutes in front and the archers in back. Now his army is actually large enough that's becoming a bit of a problem. Now it's sort of reaching off the left and right. He could go quickly secure it, but it'll take a bit of time. Both sides have secured half the map. I'm good and just fast forward once again. Do got a large number of Hades and air intercept bombers and air fighters, so we have a nice mix of aircraft there. I don't see any. Yeah, we do actually have some sky cleaners of AA frigates. So there is some AA defense. Granted, they're not exactly the greatest thing in the world. Now we do have the center point being captured by the red player. Now this is a bit of a problem for the blue player. Once he sees that captured up, it's like, oh crap, he's near me. Do has 2 good forces. If you were to move one here and here, have a setup of nice concave. You even have more and more frigates being brought up now. Overall, a bit slower game than we've seen earlier, but I don't mind. Sometimes you want to see the bigger, slower games with bigger units. You got the first assault happening. Of course, slight desync, meaning that units are engaging when they weren't originally engaging. You got the Zeus engaging over here. You got these units engaging over here. This army's not currently moving. That is a bit of a problem. However, this Zeus here is providing a huge amount of fire support and ripping apart the frigates. These cruisers should win out over here. He's starting to fall back now. And this nice little fallback is sort of bringing his enemy, his opponent out into constantly in this line of sight, but losing most of those frigates is quite expected when fighting PHC versus Substrate. Just because you have such very low health frigates and splash damage just very excellent versus them. He's lost a significant portion of his army. Now he's down to 3,500 versus the 17,300 of his opponent. Note there's still also a large air force building up. Looks like, yeah, it looks like still continuing to build, and it has a large number of armories as well. He also the orbital nullifier, maybe not really necessary, but then again, you never know when your opponent may call in a bunch of saboteurs. Economy is still in favor of the red player, but just ever so slight, just only had this little point here. We got number AA here, protect, which is actually quite necessary versus. While he doesn't realize at the moment, his opponent has an air force. It was like Blue's going to eye for securing the tritium generator. With that very successful engagement, he can. And he will. Seeing more and more frigates being produced. There's just a large cruiser force here with supporting frigates. And that's just going to be quite devastating for this large frigate force. There's even a very healthy amount of Zeus. What I would like to see is more of a build focus on cruisers now. I mean, these assemblers can build both frigates and cruisers. However, we do in fact have a dreadnought. It looks like it's a Retributor, the anti-cruiser and frigate dreadnought. You got the blue tritium generator has been secured. He may be eyeing to reclaim it after seeing, oh, my enemy is here. Going down for a sentinel turret, that's a bit unusual. He knows his opponent's been going for a large frigate force, so in fact, a smarty system would be much more preferable. You got some artillery mixed in, and he does have some radar, so this artillery would be great in splashing down these structures, start damaging the economy. We got these forces moving forward, but a slight desync may not actually be there in the replay file. But he does have this artillery here, but these frigates are just going to get melted by these Zeus. Overall, very failed engagement by the Substrate player. Losing pretty much that entirety of the force. Only the remnants of the reinforcements are being brought forward. He needs more frigates. Well, cruisers, not frigates. His opponent is also securing up this force. So his opponent is in a great position. He has a significant army advantage. However, this dreadnought is now out. That is a very potent force on its own. However, it's more of an anti-frigate dreadnought. Not exactly... while it can easily fight cruisers, won't have as easy of a time. You got the first Sentinel turret coming out. That is, of course, excels versus Dreadnought. It, of course, has the heavier version of traditional railgun, firing supersonic ammunition, effective against cruisers and Dreadnoughts. 40% armor penetration. This human. Oh, I'm trying to look at the armor, but he is currently in an army. And the economy is minus 24. He has a bit of a build up, so he's currently spending it. So currently he's not halting any production, but he soon will. Or she. Never really know. Or no, it could be somebody who identifies himself as Apache Tech Helicopter. Yeah. This force, a lot of units are, like I said, desync. You want to have, this guy's pretty damaged at minus 11,000 health. Either way, you got the blue forces claiming up this bit of metal. There is a defending an overriser turret. I would have actually just annihilator. It's a 100% armor penetration. It's great for cruisers and frigates. Oh, it's great against cruisers and dreadnoughts. But annihilators are better against frigates because it's higher grade of fire. You got these frigate or cruiser force not being formed, along with some light AA from the frigates. Where's that Retributor? The Retributor is right here. The Retributor could actually push forward, deal some economic damage, but this bomber force and fighter force is a bit of a problem. He's getting some of his bombers of his own, looks like. The Searchers. No, those are the Scouts, never mind. Sometimes the size difference, like you can see the Furies are quite small, while the Scout symbol is quite large. I always get those mixed up a bit. got a large number of maulers. They're effective against other cruisers, so he is actually going to try to counter his opponent's force. You can see this Athena easily gets ripped apart, but these things says minus 7,000 HP. You got these cruisers now engaging, but there's still a large number of supporting frigates actually, and he doesn't really have any ample counters to the frigates. There are a couple drone hives, nothing all too crazy. Do got some gunships now coming on now, the Rampagers. So that may be what he's looking for. These Rampagers had nothing versus these Sentinels. He is starting, however, to build a repair bay. He could drop in another engineer. The Sentinel's not fully finished, pretty close to it, however. Those Sentinels just start ripping apart those cruisers, no problem. Now we do got the air interceptors now flying out forward, claiming the air Rampager. And now he sees that air Rampager like, that may be his only air unit, so he's probably thinking about bringing his bombers. The Retributor is now pushing forward. He thinks he's probably believing at the moment he can't really win a game of Tyrannium, so he may be eyeing to go for the kill, go for the throat. Retributor is now at Mark II. Can't really tell what upgrade he has gotten yet. Bombers, however, are going to respond to the Retributor, find a splashdown. Well, it will take a significant amount of time to remove it. You can go ahead and just start splashing down the Dreadnought itself. So the Retributor, I believe, does have some light AA, so we can eventually clean those units up. Yeah, you can see them flying up now. We got the air Rampagers also supporting. Tyrannium is at near approaching 70%. When he's got 350, it will be at 70%. Only it's at 65%. Little, well, 66 or 67 really. We got some large number of quantum relays. How many quantum relays are over here? Oh, a lot more. But he also does have an energy modulator, gateway, and orbital drone relay. No access. So he will have access to the drone swarms, but not to any orbital strikes. There is an orbital nullifier, and he will have that, so it will help prevent him from getting a splashdown by that drone assault. The shields are starting to go down. Now it starts sitting some health damage. And he's eyeing to go push forward. Retributor is currently capturing up. He knows his opponent's counting up in Tyrannium. The army sizes are quite similar at the moment. Currently the forces jumping back each way, has a huge number of factories over the armories, and managed to cut off the economy. Now his opponent has pretty much little to no little economy, and currently he's actually sitting at a very high plus 50, plus 14. So he's actually need to start spending that. We do got a large number of aircraft now coming in to support the Punishers. Yeah, the precision bomber. And along with some sky cleaners. No, that's the AA frigate. So I know there's Punishers. I'm not sure if there is. Doesn't look like there's anything much else. There's some air Rampagers. Yeah, but doesn't look. So he's starting to push forward on now. Here it has some supporting artillery. But there's no base defenses here other than the Nexus's own main gun. He needs to go for the kill now. He does not need to. Is he approaching at his opponent is at 92%, 93% Tyrannium. So he needs to start hitting that. He destroyed the orbital nullifier, just disappeared, didn't see an explosion. Now he needs to call on the drone swarm, he needs to call on all the support powers to aid him in destroying this Nexus. He's at fighting against his opponent is at 97%, 98%. The Nexus is almost going down. 99%. 99, 50. Ooh. Victory was assured if it wasn't for Tyrannium. Very close to ending. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.